I am Jeffrey Villadouin in the Rome to Epirus campaign. You may remember that after several years of preparations, we are at last on our way to Italy. Every man who could bear arms has come along, no one has been left behind. Even the guardians of the Oracle of Dodona have left the Oracle and have come to help us out because the Romans are very strong here.
Ready for orders.
So, the time for battle has come. Our navy is commanded by our King Davos, the Guardians of Styx are commanded by Demetrius, and the Guardians of Dodona by Eusebius. On the Roman side, Legio 5 is commanded by Quintus Culio, the garrison is commanded by a man called Gaius Brutus, and there's also a small garrison fleet under the command of Septimus Polo. We have clear superiority, but a defending force of 1600 men will keep us busy. So here are again the two main armies. We did not have enough movement to land our army, so the landing will have to be during the battle. And of course there will not be enough room to land all the men, so the odds are not going to be quite as favorable as they seem. And I will skip the deployment. So here is Brundisium, and the Romans are going into port. That's very inconvenient. We'll send our ballista ships forward. So the plan is to hit the walls with the ballistas and tear down the walls, then our men can go in. It'll be a surprise attack. So here is the small garrison fleet, 3 ships. And they've gone into harbor and they've blocked the harbor so we cannot land our ships there. That's a clever move from the AI. So our ballistas keep hitting the walls of Brundisium. And the rocks hit the walls and leave marks on the walls. And the walls have come down partially. There's about 2/3 damaged by now. Here is our army on the transport ships. Here's the view from the Roman side. The Romans have gone up to the top of the walls, and they are no doubt staring with apprehension at our large force outside Brundisium. So we keep hitting the walls, and the walls have come down here. That's a very beautiful animation. The settlements are very, very beautiful, very nicely done in Rome 2. It's one of my favorite things about Rome 2. So we've made a hole in the walls, and our men are now coming to shore. So we'll land all the heavy units, and we'll keep the light units as a reserve. There's not enough room for everyone. So the Romans have not brought many men on this side. In fact, there's nobody guarding this side, so men are going in unopposed. And these unlucky light javelin men are going in. They have the job of silencing that tower. They are being hit by flaming arrows.
Be brave! We're only facing a few girls today. Girls with bloody big choppers, mine. Oh, God,
And now that the tower has been silenced, we can take the rest of our men in. Here's again another wonderful view of Brundisium, of the harbour. Our men have taken command of the harbour. Romans on the walls, overlooking our fleet. They're not coming down, they just decided to stay up on the walls. We're slowly moving into Brundisium. You can see our men in the foreground. This is a view from above. And here we have brought some archers, and they are hitting Legio 5 that has deployed in the main plaza of Brundisium under the command of their legatus
Get running!
So fortunately for us, they've decided to just stay on the plaza. They're not coming out to attack us. We have the range. The Romans have javelins, of course, but we have a bigger range. Here we also have the range. We have some slingers, and they are hitting the light Roman units as they're coming down from the walls. And they're also hitting the ones on the walls. So you see here there are some velites and levies and some light units on the walls. Other Rorari or some other light unit, Vigilus perhaps, and they're also being attacked. Soon there started a skirmish fight between skirmishers on the two sides. The Romans have a lot of javelin men. That is the naval commander who is skirmishing away. The Roman naval commander. And we have some light units. And the plan here is we have just a slinger unit. The Romans have javelin units. And so we have one depleted javelin light infantry, Illyrian javelin infantry here. They've been depleted from the fight between the skirmishers. And so what they're doing is they are scaring off the javelin men so that the slingers can hit them, and they don't allow them to come close enough so they can throw javelins at our slingers. Yeah, so that's the idea. So as soon as the Roman javelin men try to come close to our slingers, the Illyrians go and chase them off. There we go again. So we keep playing this game all the while our slingers are hitting the Roman javelin men, who don't get to throw their javelins at all, or very rarely. And we bring in some reinforcements as well. But it looks like at this point the Roman javelin men lost the fight. So the commander of the naval force has given up. Septimus Rollo was his name. And here we're back to the main plaza. So we have brought some heavy units now. And we also have some pikemen, very glorious looking. And Legio 5 and the main plaza is being depleted. So they have some Vigilus here, and they have suffered heavy casualties. Fluvius Polo, the enemy commander, the commander of the Legion, has taken over because he lost so many of his men. There's no one left to guard the plaza, so he's gone to the front, and now he's being hit by our archers. Very brave Roman commander, and slightly foolhardy.
Burn the wretches!
So he's lost about a third of his force by now. He holds his place though. He's lost exactly a third of his force.
Understood! At the double!
And he's falling back as some plebs, it seems, are coming over. He fell back just in time to escape the fire arrows, the flaming arrows. But the flaming arrows got him in the end, so he came back. We're still shooting flaming arrows. He's under attack. The plebs have gone behind the general, so they've been protected by the shields of the general's bodyguard. The bodyguard has gone down. One of the plebs has been hit in the arm by a flaming arrow, but he's not phased at all. He has given courage to his comrades. It was but a flesh wound. So we've got some pikemen here. We keep harassing the enemy with flaming arrows.
Run! Captain! Attack! Captain! To arms!
Okay, it looks like the enemy commander, Fluvius Polo, the commander of the Legion, decided to retreat. The plebs are also running off. Here's another part of the battlefield. This is near the center of our deployment. Two companies of Hastati have come this way, and we're pulling troops from every side. One of the companies of Hastati have been engaged with some of our pikemen on the far distance on the left. Here we have some Illyrian light infantry. They have axes and javelins. And we have some hoplites on the right. The Hastati have bypassed the hoplites. They pretended they were going to attack the hoplites, and then they decided to charge the Illyrians. We had another company of hoplites coming over, and they arrived just in time, and so now the Hastati are hard pressed. The other company of hoplites are going to attack the rear of that other company of Hastati in the distance. So they're doing just that right now. So this company of Hastati has been attacked in the rear, and they are broken, they've been decimated, and that's freed up our pikemen to come to the aid of the two units that are fighting that one last Hastati unit. So now the Hastati are outnumbered, they're outnumbered 4-1, so they're not going to win this fight. We will pull out our light Illyrian unit. They're not very good at melee. Here's a glorious melee, very, very beautiful. This is one of those scenes that are so beautiful in Rome too. There is a slightly low frame rate. I am trying to resolve this. I have to move everything to another computer, but I have some issues, so you have to bear with me for this episode. If I manage this low frame rate will go. We also have a little bit of a breaking up of the sound now and then, because of the all the sound clips that are playing simultaneously. They are interlaced, but there's it depends on the GPU. It depends on the graphic card. And at the moment, my setup here is struggling a little bit. So we have completely surrounded this company of Hastati here. They are definitely losing this battle. Okay, they lost this battle. They have been routed, so that's freed up a lot of men now. Over here, the Romans have temporarily left. They have abandoned the plaza. However, there is one company of legionaries coming our way. So here, this company, the Romans have one company of real legionaries, and this is the commander of the garrison. And so he is the commander of the garrison army, and he has real legionaries with mail and pillar. And so they're throwing the pillar now. There's a little bit of breaking up of the sound again. And we have some pikemen here. They're going to charge our pikemen. We also have various other units as a backup. We have some slingers. They are helping us a little bit. We're bringing other units to help us out. So we'll bring some of those units that were freed up after the fight with those two Hastati companies, and they're going to come on both sides and try to surround this heavy Roman unit. So I'm not sure if in 250 something BC the Romans were wearing chainmail, but these Romans do. And they look very glorious, except for those feathers on their heads, on their helmets. So we've got some units in the rear. There are some Epirus Pierce, and we're bringing up other units. We will try and overwhelm the Romans with large numbers of men. So we're bringing up some hoplites as well. So I was saying about those feathers. There is only one reference to the Roman soldier and his equipment from this time in history, and it was referenced from a Greek writer, and he said they had sometimes plumes on their helmets, even triple plumes. And I don't think by triple plumes he meant triple feathers, or even pigeon feathers, which is what they're wearing here, but somehow it became a kind of thing to portray Romans from this period as having 3 pigeon feathers on their helmets, which sounds silly. So we have overwhelmed now this unit. We brought hoplites from both sides, and we brought also the Epirus Pierce at the back, and we have pikemen here at the front. And we have been hitting them also with a slinger unit. And so they are very much overwhelmed, but they are fighting on. They're definitely not going to win this fight, however. So there we bring some more hoplites. The Romans are completely surrounded. They fight on, however, to their credit. It's a very tough unit. Imagine having to fight a complete army of legionaries. I'm glad the AI isn't really capable of fielding legions made up of legionaries. And so we've overwhelmed this unit. There's a little bit of a breaking up of the sound again because of the difficulty with interlacing all the sound clips, or the voices, or the clashes of arms, and so on. So we've won. We've defeated the last enemy commander, the commander of the garrison army, and his unit has been overwhelmed. Just a couple of men still fighting. Victory. But the battle is not over yet. There's still more units in the city. We are not even halfway through. So here's another part of the city. There were more companies of Hastati. They came down this way. And we had a unit of pikemen here, a couple of units of hoplites. Some of the hoplites came from the other fighting. We also have a company of Illyrian javelin men, the ones here at the front. We have some archers as well.
Quick march!
And so the pikemen moved to the left to make room for the Illyrian javelin men to throw their javelins. And the Illyrian javelin men somehow hesitate to do that. So I reposition them so perhaps they'll have a better angle here. Hopefully. They're very slow at throwing their javelins. Come on people. They're just cheering. Throw your javelins. Goodness me. So we brought another company of hoplites. We also have some archers, but they're not shooting. They're afraid of hitting our own men. But the javelin men are in such an ideal position. We can throw the javelins. Come on. Come on, people, pick up your javelins. Don't cheer. At last. Okay, a few Romans fell on the ground. They were hit by the javelins. Come on, throw the rest. They have about 3 or 4 javelins per man. Every man has about 3 or 4 javelins. Come on. One more throw. Come on. Don't just cheer. Okay, that's it. That's it. That looks more like it. Come on, throw your javelins. Oh my god. I should have just charged everyone in. These Illyrians are quite useless. Okay, now we go. Okay, a few more Romans fell on the ground. Okay, let's go. The Illyrians are taking their time. So everyone is attacking now. The Illyrians are being pulled back. They were quite useless. Here we go. So the Illyrians are being pulled back. I think they've thrown all their javelins by now. So, another glorious fight, a beautiful scene. All the fighting, all the hoplites, the pikemen, the Stati, the beautiful background, the scenery, Rome to buildings and kind of cities and settlements are wonderful. And a little bit of a low frame rate again, and a little bit of breaking up of the sound. Sorry about that. Hopefully I can fix that. And the glorious melee continues. The Hastati are very hard pressed, just a handful are left. They keep fighting. Finally they've been broken. Oh, men are celebrating. We've won this fight as well. Now you may remember that the plaza looked empty for a while. Well, the Romans have come back to the plaza as soon as we tried to head that way. They just popped out of nowhere. They filled up the plaza with men. And the fighting continued in the plaza. And here are our artillery spears. We just had one company of them. They're taking position at the far end of the plaza as more Hastati are coming down. Hastati and Vigiles. In the meantime, we have won this fight that you just saw, and so that's freed up some more men. They're coming in our direction to help us out. In the meantime, the newcomers have started pressing hard on the men who had taken the plaza, and so there's one pike company here. It's been very hard pressed. There's a company of hoplites at the back. They're fighting some plebs, it would seem, or maybe they are levies, and we have hit the levies in the rear with some of our skirmishers. Some of our slingers, they picked up their shields and swords, and they attacked them in the rear. And so the levies at the back have been routed, and now we're coming, bringing in our men. The men were freed up from that last fight. We've also breached the walls on the other side, so we were able to land some of our light units, and now the light units are coming to help our men. They're coming through that breach on the wall, the new breach on the wall. And the fighting in the plaza has been renewed. The Romans are making a last stand by now. They are being vastly outnumbered. Now the men that were freed up from the previous fight are coming down that street on the right, and we have some archers there. as well. So the archers are taking shots at the Roman units below. The infantry is slowly coming down. We have various pike units and so on. We're bringing units from every side. And the Romans now just have a couple of very depleted units. They are about to be surrounded.
Weapons ready!
And finally we have surrounded the enemy companies. They've been surrounded on both sides. And it looks like they have been broken. And that was the battle. It was from a replay. And we'll have a look at the results. So we lost over 400 men, but we took Brundisium. That's the important thing. It was a tough battle. And now we have a foothold on Italy. And that was the end of this episode. Thank you for watching.